Okay, welcome everybody. This is going to be about a 45-minute class, if I can keep it to that. And then the last 15 minutes, if you want to stay on for the full hour, is just asking questions and giving your input about the class and any questions that you may have. But the main part of the topic and the lesson will be 45 minutes. And welcome. I'm Kara Blattman-Rock, founder of Doterra in Israel, and now living in New Mexico, where I am traveled here with my family to be close to my family who lives here and work with Doterra here in New Mexico and Colorado area. That's the amazing thing about a Doterra business or Doterra community. When you're part of our group and the business group, you can do it from wherever. And thank God with Zoom and everybody on Zoom these days, you can keep continuing the lessons and educating and sharing with people. So today's lesson is essential oils for pregnancy, for the actual birth, and then immediately after postpartum care. I'm not going to take it into essential oils for babies and newborns. That's a whole nother topic. We're going to just mostly focus on the mama and during her pregnancy, during the actual birth and postpartum. And the majority of it's going to be pregnancy. So I'm going to share the screen really quick to just show you these slides that I made about, because there's a lot of questions about what oils are safe for women that are pregnant and what oils are not safe. And there are some oils that are not safe during the first trimester, but they're okay in the second and third trimester. But I like to err towards caution and being more cautious. So any oils that aren't recommended for first trimester, we're going to just stay away from them for the whole pregnancy, just to stay safe. Because as we know, doTERRA's essential oils are certified therapeutic grade. So that means they're pure, but their potency is very high because they're a therapeutic grade. So these are not their average oils that you're going to get on the shelf. And I only educate about doTERRA's essential oils, and I only advocate for people to use doTERRA's essential oils or therapeutic grade essential oils. And it will say that on the bottle. And because essential oils are plant-based medicine, they are strong, they're effective, and that you also have to be cautious and careful with them when you use essential oils. So essential oils to avoid during pregnancy is anise. Fennel is slightly different, so I'm just not going to put that on either list. And if you have questions about phenols, you can just talk to me or the person that introduced you. Basil, camphor, champa, citronella, cinnamon, clove, hyssop, jasmine, juniper, melissa, myrrh, peppermint, rosemary, sage, summer savory, thyme, tarragon, wintergreen. These are the oils to avoid during your entire pregnancy. And now we have it all on a nice, neat list. And we can always add to it if we need to. The oils that are safe, this is what I want you to focus on. So instead of focusing on what you can't use, let's focus on what you can use, because there's plenty of oils that you can use, and we're going to go over those. Lavender, frankincense, Roman chamomile, ylang, geranium, rose. So all of the flower oils, pretty much lemongrass, helichrysum, ginger, lemon, lime, bergamot, neroli, wild orange, all of the citrus oils pretty much. And then clary sage, different from sage, it's clary sage. It can be used during pregnancy. Cypress, Aromatouch is a blend. Air, breathe is a blend. Citrus bliss and Serenity are a blend. So I'll send these images to the WhatsApp group and upload them to YouTube as well, so you can catch them there with this video and on WhatsApp. So let's get into it. Pregnancy. So some of my favorite books to reference from is the Modern Essentials. I use a lot, and there's an app for that on your phone, which is mostly what I use is the app. My favorite book is Ayurveda and Aromatherapy. They have a whole section on pregnancy, and then emotions and essential oils. So let's go. I'm gonna go right into this book that I love because my background is Ayurvedic medicine. And so when you're pregnant, the best approach to take for our doulas and our midwives on this phone call, or mamas that are pregnant or plan to get pregnant, is when you're pregnant, just listen to your body and know that this is one of the strongest times that your body is going through. You are making a little human being inside of you, and so your immunity is stronger, you're producing more cells, you're producing more blood, you're producing more tissue. So it is one of the strongest periods in your life to be feeling good and healthy. And so don't let Western medicine or the medical field get you into this mind space of that you're really sensitive or you're sick or you shouldn't be doing anything but just laying in bed and eating extra food for you and your baby. Remember, this is a time where you actually are really healthy, really strong, and it's a time where your intuition is really strong. So listen to your intuition and take care of yourself like a queen when you're pregnant. So we're going to go into some of the first things that we deal with when we're pregnant, or the people around us that we want to help when they're pregnant, is that first trimester when you have nausea and you feel so horrible. You know this is the time that you should be eating well, and you feel like eating nothing but like bread and muffins and anything bready and salty, because you can hardly hold anything down. A green salad or green smoothies or all these yummy nutritional things, a lot of times for me, did not sound good, and I could barely get it down my first trimester because of the nausea. And whoever called it morning sickness, I don't know who that person was, because it was all day sickness for me, and really, really intense at night. So the thing that worked best for me, so a lot of my teaching today is going to come from experience. I've had 4 babies, and had the opportunity to use essential oils for all my pregnancies, thank God. So a lot of it's going to come from experience, and then all the experience I've collected over the last 15 years of people sharing their experiences with pregnancy and essential oils, and then of course books. But lime essential oil was the most amazing thing for nausea for me and for repeatedly people that I share this with. In the books, it'll say peppermint, ginger. A lot of times it says peppermint and ginger. Those are okay to take when you're pregnant, but they're so strong. Again, they were the last things I wanted to smell or put into my body. Ginger was like, oh my gosh, get that away from me. Lime smells so light, so refreshing, and 1 drop of lime in water or soda water, and I was just drinking it all day long, really helped mitigate the nausea, made it much, much more less. It didn't get rid of it completely, but it made it a lot less and really manageable. I wasn't throwing up with the lime, and then it helped me to hydrate, because one of the things that I wasn't drinking so much, and I hear other mamas that are pregnant that aren't drinking as much because they feel so nauseated. So lime, my favorite thing was lime in soda water and drinking it all day. But you do want to make sure that you get regular water as well. So every time you pour yourself a glass, put a drop of lime in it, and you can just have like a liter going with. If it was a liter, I'd probably put like 3 drops of lime in it. But also use your intuition and help your mamas use their intuition. Lemon is also good. Some people, when I'd have them smell it, they preferred lemon over lime. So both of those are really good for nausea. If they are seriously nauseated and are throwing up and can't keep anything down, do a foot bath with ginger in it. I would not advise taking ginger internally when you're pregnant. I haven't had any great success with that, helping with nausea. The lime and the lemon have been the most successful with nausea, and then a ginger foot bath, because you're gonna just absorb it through your feet. The smell is going to be less intense because you're just putting your feet in it, and then that really helps with the nausea as well if they're seriously nauseated and having trouble keeping anything down. So that's the first thing. Second thing that we experience in our pregnancy is our tissue starts growing, our tummy starts growing. And one of the things that we may have had already or we want to avoid is stretch marks. Um, this is not just pure vanity. This is like, why not keep the integrity of our skin around our core and our belly? So stretch marks, I'm going to read a little bit from the book, it's just small tissue tears in the skin. And at first they may appear red or purple, and then later on they kind of go back to skin color, but they stay um, in that little tear or that scarring. So one of the ways to avoid stretch marks, and we will talk about one of the ways to help get rid of stretch marks, but one of the ways to avoid stretch marks is staying moist in the belly or the hips and the breast tissue where the tissue is going to grow. So one of my favorite oils is Doterra's coconut oil, but you can use any type of oil, not lotion. Lotion's not the same as an oil, so you want to use jojoba oil, coconut oil, almond oil. And I did every day. It didn't matter if it was the morning or the evening, usually after a bath or a shower, I would do a big handful of the oil, the coconut oil, and 1 drop lavender and 1 drop frankincense. And then rub it all around my belly. And just keep adding coconut oil if you have more belly then as it grows. And you want to do it once a day. 1 drop frankincense, 1 drop lavender, and you can include geranium if you want, but I just did lavender and frankincense. Again, sometimes your sense of smell becomes really sensitive when you're pregnant. So frankincense and lavender to me were lighter in scent, and geranium is very strong. But those are the 3 skincare oils that are great to rub on your belly, around your breasts, and your thighs and butt area that grows with pregnancy, to just allow elasticity in the skin. Frankincense helps regenerate tissue growth, and that's what you're doing anyway. So it helps to grow the skin and allow it to grow and move without stretching, and therefore decreasing your exposure to stretch marks or maybe avoiding it altogether. Why not have a goal of having your belly look like your belly before pregnancy or after? It'll look different. It always does. It's okay, but it's okay to have a goal of reducing your stretch marks on your belly. And those would be the same oils that you would use now if you've already gotten the stretch marks and the reminders of all your children, which is okay. Love those stretch marks and do this anyways. Add the lavender, frankincense, geranium, and the other oil that's really good for once you already have stretch marks and helping to reduce stretch marks is lemon. So again, when you're pregnant, don't use the lemon on your belly. Just use frankincense, lavender, and geranium if you choose. If you've already been pregnant and you have the stretch marks there to remind you of your beautiful pregnancies and you'd like to reduce those, then do the same routine: coconut oil, 1 drop lavender, frankincense, geranium, and lemon. And you would do it once a day. And for reducing stretch marks that you already have, it takes about doing it once a day for 6 to 9 months, as long as you were pregnant. That's how consistent you need to do it. So that's stretch marks. What's next? Okay, so sleep problems. If you're having difficulty, when we start to have a lot of activity going on in our body and our minds, sometimes it's difficult to sleep. So one of the best oils, I'm going to suggest 2 oils, is Roman chamomile, completely safe when you're pregnant. This is the oil I still use when I have trouble going to sleep. I drop a little bit on the little the little pocket on my hand and rub it in. And then I sleep, you know, when you're pregnant, you have to sleep on your side. So I just put my hand next to my nose. So I'm smelling the chamomile as I sleep. And I immediately, and Roman chamomile is meant to do that, put you to sleep quickly, quiet the mind, bring you down into your root chakra, which is the chakra, those first and second chakras are the ones that are actively helping to create that baby, brings you down into that and out of your mind. So the mind quiets down. You feel secure and safe and fully trusting your relationship, your creative power in making this beautiful baby, and falling asleep and staying asleep. The other oil that's really good, and it has Roman chamomile in it, because sometimes people don't just have Roman chamomile, even though I think that's one that you really should have because it's good for babies once the newborn comes. But Serenity is made specifically for sleep. And that's what I have in the diffuser here. And it's strong. So when I was pregnant, it was a bit strong for me to put directly on my body. So I put it in the diffuser, and I still do. So for sleeping at night, Serenity in the diffuser, like 3 to 5 drops, and a little drop of Roman chamomile on your wrist or hand to have it next to your nose as you're sleeping to go to sleep. Serenity is also really nice in a bath. If you're just feeling anxious or overtired and you really need to take care of yourself with that beautiful baby being created, sit in a bath with up to 3 drops of Serenity. Don't go past 3 drops because it's strong. Lavender can sometimes, with the combination of hot water, which lavender is in the Serenity, can cause a skin reaction, and you'll hop out of the bath looking like a lobster, red as a lobster, and it's irritating. It will really bother the skin. So when you're pregnant or you're giving this advice to pregnant mamas and you're helping them, always do less than what you would normally do when you're not pregnant. So another thing that comes up for pregnant women, it wasn't an issue for me, but I hear it a lot, is sensitive, scratchy, irritated skin, especially around the belly that's growing, but it's not exclusive to the belly. It can be the entire body. I've had people talk about how their entire body for the first trimester is just itchy, itchy, itchy. And they even prescribe medication for some women. And doulas on the call probably know what this is called. I don't know the name of it, but so some of the best oils for that is a bath, because maybe you can't massage your whole body with the oil, but a bath with 1 drop lavender and 1 drop frankincense and 1 drop melaleuca. So that's tea tree. And it's just 1 drop of each, so it's very subtle and not too strong, and have a bath. And do that as often as you have the itchy symptoms. If you don't have time for a bath, then just include that as a massage. 1 drop melaleuca, 1 drop frankincense, 1 drop lavender with oil, and just rub it all over the bodies that's irritated by the sensitivity and the itching skin. So body aches and body pains, which comes with the growth and the widening of our hips and the growth of the baby, sometimes lower back pain. So deep blue is not recommended because there's too many oils to avoid in there. Wintergreen, camphor, peppermint. So I don't suggest deep blue during the pregnancy. I suggest Aromatouch. So it's a blend. And in the Aromatouch the writing is getting so small. The writing is getting smaller. It's not my eyes. So it's lavender. There is peppermint in it. But it's okay because it's combined with so many other oils. It's lavender, Maybe somebody can unmute themselves and tell me what's in the Aromatouch. I can't read the writing at all.
Kara?
Yes, tell me.
Cypress is the key oil in Aromatouch that helps reduce swelling, and that's helpful. Okay.
Cypress. So it's cypress, lavender, peppermint. What else is in Aromatouch?
Those are the main ingredients. I think there might be marjoram in there also for relaxing.
Oh, marjoram. Yep. And grapefruit. Right. And grapefruit.
It smells. Yeah.
Right. So it's lavender, peppermint, cypress, and grapefruit. And you would dilute it with an oil. Don't put it on straight. So dilute it. My favorite is the coconut oil, but almond oil or even olive oil if you don't have straight oil. And rub it in the areas of sensitivity, the hips, the lower back. And if it's like serious discomfort, I would add lemongrass to it. So lemongrass has this natural analgesic property to it. I didn't bring my lemongrass out, but add 1 drop Aromatouch, 1 drop lemongrass to a diluted oil and rub it on your hips, your low back, the hip creases where it starts to get painful. And do that at night before you go to sleep, and that'll help you to, it'll relieve the inflammation. It'll relieve, there's some analgesics there, the peppermint and the lemongrass relieve the actual pain symptoms. It increases circulation, so your tissues are moving, white blood cells are moving to the area. So that's what you would use for pain. Similar to, so next thing is similar to swelling in the ankles, in the feet, in the fingers, or wherever you may get swelling. Not everybody gets edema and swelling when they're pregnant, but for those of us that do, or our family members or people that are clients that we're working with, the best oils for swelling is lemongrass, cypress, and Aromatouch. So the Aromatouch already has the cypress in it, so I love the combination of the Aromatouch and the lemongrass. Again, you dilute it because the oils are sensitive, and you or your clients are sensitive. If you're pregnant, dilute it, 1 drop of each, and rub it around the ankles, the feet, into the fingers and hands, wherever you have the swelling, to keep the tissue and the fluid moving and to reduce swelling and increase your comfort. Swelling can be uncomfortable and painful. If it is in the feet and ankles, rub it on your feet and ankles and elevate the feet and ankle for 15 to 20 minutes after you've rubbed the oil on. Just remember, every time you use the oil on the body when you're pregnant, dilute it. So you need coconut, almond oil, handy and accessible for if you're using oils, when you're using oils as pregnant. The bath that we suggested for the itching is also good for edema, but maybe change the bath to a little bit of lavender and a little bit, 1 drop lavender and 1 drop of the Aromatouch if you just want the whole body to soak in a bath that helps with edema or swelling. Let's see, what else occurs when we're pregnant? So energy levels, like just staying positive and good energy, especially in that afternoon dip or maybe in the late evening. So oils that help with increasing energy and just feeling optimistic: lavender, wild orange. And I'm not saying to put them all together. These are just suggestions of oils that help with energy. And then you or the person you're working with can decide like what's the best combination for them. Ylang. So ylang ylan's really nice for energy. Citrus bliss, which is just a citrus oil combination with a little bit of vanilla. Those two are really nice together. citrus, one, and all you need is 1 drop of each if you're combining things. If you're choosing just 1 oil, maybe 2 drops of that oil. Dilute it again, use it as your perfume first thing in the morning or at night before you go to bed. Serenity can be a nice calming and uplifting oil that we keep talking about. I didn't bring out one more oil that they really suggest is Elevation. That's a great safe oil for pregnancy, and you can put it in, dilute it, and use it as like a perfume on your chest and arms, you know, and then keeping you uplifted, positive, optimistic, listening to your intuitive soul and the soul of the baby, and knowing that you're in a good place. Let's see, what else did I want to cover? So now we're, last thing for while you're in pregnant, varicose veins is similar to edema. You would, some of the best oils for varicose veins is lavender, and this is, you put them all together, 1 drop lavender, 1 drop geranium, 1 drop cypress, and 1 drop lemongrass, and dilute it and rub it on the varicose veins. And that's a daily thing. If you have varicose veins, rub them on daily. If you get the socks that hold them in, those tension socks, I believe they're called, use them together. Put the oil on first, put the tension socks on over that, and follow the directions that your doctor or nurse has given you for the tension socks, but include the massage oil of lavender, cypress, lemongrass, and geranium. 1 drop of each with your dilution oil. And there's this awful fly that's bugging me. So now we're gonna, last thing, and then we're gonna go into preparing for birth. So I hear a lot about heartburn when you're pregnant. I never had that with any of the 4 babies, but I hear it a lot from mamas. And, you know, part of it's because our organs are all shifting around and our stomach's up in our diaphragm and our organs are all over to the side. And so you can't, things to pay attention with heartburn is, don't drink while you're eating. Save your fluid intake for between meals and just sip on a little bit of warm water when you eat. And you can keep that lime or lemon in that warm water and just sip on that while you eat. But don't try to hydrate during a meal. Hydrate really in between those meals. And we talked about lime for nausea, but lime is also incredible for reflux. So if you see you're done with the nausea, first trimester's over and it ended around 12 or 13 weeks, hopefully for most of you guys and future mamas, and now nausea is over, but you start to experience heartburn, keep that lime routine up in your water bottles that you're drinking throughout the day. In a liter water bottle, glass is ideal. Put 3 drops of lemon, 3 to 5 drops of lemon, and drink that throughout the day. And that, or not lemon, sorry, lime, 3 to 5 drops of lime in your water throughout the day will prevent reflux, because that'll bring help with the acidity. It's acidity in the stomach, and now your stomach's up by your diaphragm. So it's the fastest way to get out of the body is going up. So many people, pregnant mamas, have told me that they've really watched what they're eating and they can't even relate it to a food. So I'm not going to go over food in this talk, but lime is amazing. And you can also put a little bit, if you're drinking it throughout the day in your water, you probably won't have reflux at night. But the oil that you can apply topically, and I didn't bring it to show, but is, you can't use digestin during pregnancy. There's too many oils in it that are contraindicated for pregnancy. So the new digestive oil that's made for children called Tamer is a great oil for pregnant mamas that have indigestion, gas, or bloating. Use the tamer, and you can put it just under your diaphragm, because that's where your stomach is now. Just do a little swipe. It's in a roller bottle, so you would just swipe it under your diaphragm, and then you can put a little bit on your neck where you may be experiencing the reflux. And I tell mamas to combine it with the Calmer, which is also a children's blend. So that's just a relaxing oil. Put it in Tamer first, rub it under your diaphragm, then Calmer. Tamer on your throat, then Calmer. And that will help with the reflux. And do that before bed at night or whenever you're having the symptoms. So that's for reflux. Now we're preparing for birth. So we're in our last trimester. More oils are available during this time, but I'm just going to stick with the ones that I know that are safe for the whole pregnancy. You've been rubbing, hopefully the whole time, on your belly, lavender, frankincense. Maybe you chose geranium. So the baby is so relaxed and taken care of with those oils. Your belly and your uterus is well taken care of with those oils. You can start to do vaginal massage with those oils as well. Use coconut oil, always dilute 1 drop lavender, 1 drop frankincense. And if you're the pregnant mama and you want your uterus and your labia and everything to open up more naturally without tearing, you can apply frankincense, 1 drop frankincense, 1 drop lavender, and we're adding an oil, Helichrysum. And that will help with expansion without tearing. If you do tear, these are going to be similar oils that you're going to use afterwards for the healing process. But Helichrysum, we love. So this is called Dam Maccabee in Israel, and it grows naturally in Israel. I'd like them to make our Helichrysum with the Israel flowers. And that's what you would start to do around 36 weeks is a good time. 35, 36 weeks is a good time to start. Maybe one of the doulas on here has a message, a good time frame of when it's good to start doing a labia or a massage for allowing. It's really just creating more elasticity in those tissues for when you start to open up in the birth process. And when you start to get to that 38 week where it's like safe and you're ready to bring that baby into the world, you can start doing a massage at the ankle points. So I don't think I'm going to bring my foot into the video right now at this moment, but there's on the inside of the ankle, there's a point for the uterus and the womb. So it's on the inside, just below the ankle bone. You can start to massage oils there that are good for helping with uterine contraction and opening up the womb. So the oils that are good for that is clary sage, whisper, the blend whisper, and wild orange for expanding and getting the uterus to start naturally contracting and opening up and dilating. And you can use those oils when you actually go into contractions and active labor. That's wild orange, whisper, and clary sage. Another great trick with the wild orange is you can put it neat around the lips. So in many traditions, Jewish traditions, Ayurvedic, Indian traditions, your mouth is similar to your uterus. And so these are like your labia lips. And so putting the wild orange around your lips helps with expanding and opening up the labia and the uterus. So that's for contractions. If you're having, when you have back pains and pain during labor, if you're a woman that went through birth and didn't have that, I would love to meet you. So this is where you can bring in the deep blue, because now you're going into the birth of the baby. You can massage deep blue oil. I recommend the deep blue touch, or the one in the roller, and just have your doula or your husband or even yourself, if you're so independent during your birth and you're doing it all yourself, you can rub some of that deep blue across your lower back and just massage it into the back, or having somebody massage it into the back. If you don't have deep blue, then the Aromatouch would work well, and you can add some lavender to that, or frankincense. Those are all really great for helping with back pain and labor pain. And so now we're into the birth of the baby. The baby has come out beautifully, and you're happy that the process is over and the baby's here. And now we're going to go into postpartum care of you. Maybe we'll talk a little bit of some first oils with the newborn, but what do you do for you with the essential oils when the baby's here? So right away, you know, we're so relieved and naturally high that the baby's come. We've had this amazing and unique birth for you and your little one. And now we have uterine contractions because the uterus is going back, you know. And I don't remember hearing about that or being warned about uterine contractions, but I was like, wait a minute, I thought I was done giving birth. What's happening? And uterine contractions can be pretty intense. So I'm going to bring in wisdom from two traditions, essential oils and Ayurvedic medicine. So some of the best ways to help with that uterine contraction and help it to go, your uterus to shrink back down quickly and healthy, is heat. So in Ayurveda and some Indian traditions, the woman would squat over hot coals to steam the uterus and help it to come back into contraction. So not something that's so easily done these days, squatting over hot coals. So my next suggestion would be a hot water bottle every day, a couple times a day. So remember that belly massage at the beginning, your frankincense, your lavender, and your geranium in coconut oil. Rub that around your now empty belly, but it's still there, it's moving. Rub that every day, twice a day around your belly, and put a hot water bottle on top of your belly after you've massaged it. The pain will go away. The uterus will use that heat and use that oil to contract back down. And you'll be amazed and your clients and the people you serve will be amazed at how quickly those uterine contractions will go away. The bleeding will start to diminish within a few days. And just take that time with your baby laying in bed to massage your belly, and have somebody bring you a hot water bottle and lay with it on your belly as much as you can those first 2 weeks. And if you had tears or and just the whole new topography that's going on down after the birth that's going on in your uterus, you know, there's sit baths or a spray bottle that you can then use the oils to help with the healing. So in a spray bottle or a squirt bottle that you're squirting, or maybe you're sitting in a little sitz bath, include 1 drop melaleuca, 1 drop lavender, 1 drop frankincense, and 1 drop helichrysum. And that will really help with bringing that whole beautiful flower back to its natural state, healing any tears or minor little contusions there, and really bringing your uterus and your labia and everything back into its regular healthy state. In addition to the water bottle over the belly, there is, and I'll try to research the link, but there's what's called, this is an Ayurveda recommendation, is called belly band or belly wrapping. So you could do it with an ace bandage, or there's these belly bands. They're like a circle of elastic kind of goomy type of material that it's not a girdle that has hooks, but it's like a girdle. You're like keeping your whole core contained and pulling in all those muscles, because in Ayurveda you've just expanded to produce this, in America 8-pound baby, in Israel it's a few kilo baby, and now you have this big open space in the middle of your body. This is your third chakra, like this is your intuition, your wisdom, where you move from, and it's this big open space. So in Ayurveda, we talk about how it makes you vulnerable, that you can really be sensitive to other people's energy. So it's really important to massage those oils, lavender, frankincense, and geranium on your belly with coconut oil or almond oil. Put the heat pack on, and then when you're not having the heat pack, wrap your belly with an ace bandage or a belly band, and you wear that belly band and that ace bandage, and for that entire first month until your uterus is contracted back, your muscles are starting to regain their strength, your tissue is starting to go back into place. You want to wear that, and I wore the belly band for months, at least 3 to 4 months, until I really felt like almost, I think even up to half a year, I was wearing that ace bandage or that belly band over my pants or under my pants or under my skirts, just to keep me all nice and strong in that area that's been so open and expanded for the last 9 months. So let's see, what else after post care? We talked about, milk production. Of course, like if you're choosing to nurse, and I hope all of us these days do, and all of our clients, and maybe you're having, so the first 3 days, you're not gonna have a lot of milk production, and I hope that people are educating that's your colostrum. Sometimes it's challenging those first couple days. Just be patient, it will come in. But there is fennel, our sweet fennel essential oil helps produce milk. So it'll help to increase your milk production or bring it in faster. So you can make a sweet fennel tea, 1 teaspoon of honey with 1 drop of fennel is all you need. Steep it in warm water, add a little bit of almond milk, oat milk, regular milk, cow's milk, and drink it as a tea. And you can do it up to 3 times a day to increase milk production, either to bring it in faster or to produce more if you feel like there's a lack of production. Then some women, even if we've had more than 1 baby, run into cracked nipples during nursing, and it is so painful. Or one of the best oils for that is, and it's safe for the baby, is the Rose Touch, and it already is diluted, and you just do a little circle around the area that's cracked and uncomfortable. It's so nourishing, and it's okay if the baby gets some of it. And it says to dilute Rose, but ours is already diluted, so just a quick little drop around there. If you get the breast infection, one of the best things for breast infection is lavender and melaleuca, diluted with coconut oil. Massage it into the breast, put that hot water pack on the breast, and then nurse from that breast. That's what will help with that. Postpartum depression, if you get that, use the oils, all of the citrus oils, the elevation. So there, in my book, the Ayurvedic book is recommending neroli and bergamot, and inhaling it, putting 1 drop of each and inhaling it for 3 minutes a couple times a day, first thing in the morning, before you go to bed, in the afternoon, if you have postpartum depression. On another note, and you're welcome to ask me about it, there is, I don't know how people feel about this, but one of the best things to prevent postpartum depression, and this might get into a hot topic, and I don't want to cause any pain for anybody who's suffering, but encapsulation of your placenta, or here in America, in Israel, it's encapsulation. That's almost all doulas, and there's lots of doulas that know how to dry your placenta and encapsulate it and put it in little pills, and you can take it every day for the first 2 weeks. They'll give you the exact instructions, and that almost combats postpartum depression, I would say 99%, by doing that. I didn't do the encapsulation process. Here it's called, I forget the official name, so the way I'm going to say it's going to sound horrific, but you freeze little parts of your placenta. There's 2 parts of your placenta: the part that was nourishing the baby and has all this great, amazing stuff, and then there's the part of the placenta that's away from your uterus that's generally you cut it in half, and that's the part you plant on a tree, and then the nourishing part is the one that's dried and encapsulated, or it's cut into little pieces and frozen. It looks like little tiny raspberries, and you can, my doulas or my midwives did it for me here in America. They didn't know how to do it in Israel. No one knew how to do it. So my husband had seen it done so many times, he did it. And he cut little raspberry chunks of the placenta that is very nourishing. You freeze it in those little pieces, and then you put it in, they'd make me a morning smoothie every morning, and you'd put one little piece in that morning smoothie. It would get blended like a raspberry, so you're not tasting it, you don't even have little pieces of it, and you're ingesting all of those nutrients that you made for the baby that are still there in your placenta, and it stops the bleeding and is almost 99%, I want to say 100%, stops postpartum depression. So look into that for your clients, for yourselves, for your family. It's either, some people like the idea of drying it and encapsulating it. That makes more sense for them. You actually then will have those capsules. It'll be a big jar of capsules that you can use for years. It's considered like an antibiotic. Like you can take it when you're feeling sick, and it's everything that your body made with the baby. So it's amazing. Okay, so time's up. We went to 51 minutes of class. I think I covered most of everything. I didn't get into baby care. That will be maybe next week or the following week, what oils to use for newborn babies. Also an area that you need to be really careful and safe with. Thank you so much for being on. I'm going to stop the recording and keep us on for any questions. I love this class. I wasn't sure what I was going to do this week, and then someone suggested it, and I was like, what a great idea. Let's do it. So thanks for being on, and I'm open for questions.